that is for your warm up, write just a couple sentences. How would you describe Giovanni or Giuseppe Corte? So based off of the first 7 pages that we read from the story, what's your opinion on him? You don't have to use a direct quote. It's based off of like just what you read. You could use like say because he did this, but again you don't have to write word for word why you think he's that way. I mean, he doesn't really give a lot of physical description, so yeah, it'd be most
personality and mental,
yeah. You find it or no? Okay, thank you. All right. We found your dad or not? Okay. So I will get these entered in this week, and so that way it'll be updated. Okay. And obviously, it won't kind of like
Actually, I don't like it. Didn't do a very good job.
you want a new one? So you can just get it. Okay. From the story we're reading, we read the first 7 pages, so today that's probably going to spend most of the time. Let me go ahead and get you the story though. Making copies, so So if you can remember this 1 through 12, like I said, we read pages 1 through 7. So far today, we're only reading some of the pictures, so we'll finish tomorrow, so today will be a good day. So don't worry about that. You need to get paper again. Just keep it on. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna have you guys do now is you're either in groups of 3 or 4 right now, essentially. So some of you might have to turn around and talk to the people behind you. But I want you guys to like get a consensus. So like share what you wrote. How would you describe him? Again, not his appearance, like you guys are pointing out, but just mostly his personality, because that's what the author focuses on. We're gonna start with the person in the front corner over here, and then we'll go counterclockwise. So then that means we'll start here, go to the person behind, and then just go around, spend about like, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds per person. So we should finish in about a minute with the whole group. But what did you guys think about him so far in the first 7 pages you've read? So go ahead, again, person in this corner, share. So yeah, that'd be her first.
As normal when it comes to illness.
So
Because
yeah,
every
you
single
guys turn
time he
around.
goes planoform, he gets indicated
And
in
you
your signals that he's turning away from being a normal healthy person, and that as each point goes down, there's a wall barrier that's separating
I mean, I think I would describe him as distant or distant from society or or visually unique because as he sees something who's thinks it's fake or more angry, more upset, he wants to see something real. Like I think as when he was looking at the trees, he thought they were fake until he needed something to support him to see what was reality.
No, you can click on the number 1. You don't have to like click through the numbers, like you just hit like this. And we're gonna be having to do this on like hundreds of slides you have to go through. So there's an audio if you want to like listen to it on headphones, so you read, it's totally fine. But it's actually paid for 1 second. But I did pay for 1 with everybody else on the first day. So if just follow the directions, that's okay. If you have questions, let me know. All right. Did we all go through? Are we good or possibly? You got quiet, so I'm assuming that you did or you guys are just awkward again. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the person in the opposite corner is going to share what either you or someone else in your group said. So we're going to start with Suzanne again. Sorry. What was it? Jesus. Okay, Jesus, go for it. No, just what you said or what one other person shared. Okay, he's a nice person. Do you know why they said that or? Okay. Who said he was a nice person? Okay, why did you say that? Okay, so he was being generous. He was letting somebody else take the room even though like he didn't necessarily want to move down on floor. Okay, thank you. Lorelai? Something you or someone else in your group said? Okay, one more time. Sorry, my music was too loud. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, they said that he's being
Upset? Okay. And then can one of you like kind of elaborate on why you thought he was upset? So it's kind of like interesting. So one person viewed him as being nice because he was being generous, but another person thought he was upset because he moved down. And that's okay. Again, we're going to have different perspectives on the same actions. And again, that's kind of the cool thing about English is that we could have different opinions, but also be right at the same time. So, all right. Well, I didn't have it set up yet for attendance. Isaiah.
I said that I feel like he was like a very simple person because whenever he was told to do something, he would just like do it, or he was very observant too. Because we noticed like the small things.
Okay, all right, thank you. And then, Esteban?
I'm just gonna say what I said. I said he was a very assertive person, like to the nurse of what he thought about moving down, and he was also very curious just about the whole thing and where he's at, what he got himself into.
Right, so like, why is this happening? He's trying to figure out, like, almost like a mystery, like, wait, what's happening to me? Why am I moving down? Kind of thing. Yeah, awesome. And then, last person, Brandon, go ahead.
And person said that he was stubborn because he didn't want to move down.
Yeah, I would say so too. All right, we are gonna go ahead and move on because we got stuff to do today, so, and I know I didn't get to everybody, but again, we will get to other people at other times, so. We are gonna be doing something that actually, we will do for most of the stories that we do, and we're gonna be using Padlet for evidence collection, and the thing I like about Padlet is because you guys all get to add on your own quotes in there, and when you do that, it's something that you can reference later, so when we go to write the essay in October, you guys can come back to this Padlet if you wanna write about 7-4s as one of your stories. You're gonna pick like 3 stories out of the like 5 that we read, and you're gonna basically like decide first of all, which one you like to write about the most. But also like, okay, we all came up with these quotes way back in September. Now I could just look here and I don't have to reread the entire story to remind myself what happened. So I try to do that as a way to like kind of make your life a little easier when it's time to write. So, all right, let me go ahead and share this real quick. Thank you. And when you guys are logging in, please log into Padlet because it'll put your names. If you forget, that's okay. I just don't want it to say anonymous, so just make sure that if you don't log in, that you put the title as your name. I lost my keyboard. There you go. Go ahead and scan that again. You don't need an app. You can just use the camera on your iPads to make it work. And FYI, I did find a solution for the whole Flipgrid thing that we weren't able to do before, so we'll be doing a Flipgrid assignment on Friday.
Oh, I'm not gonna be on Friday.
Okay, well, just remember that I live stream a YouTube video, so you can watch that, but you can also just look at the directions on Canvas too. So you'll be good. All right, 1 second before you guys get started. There. Did everybody scan it? Okay. Alright, so before you guys start posting, so directions are on here as well as an example quote of how to cite. So this is all I need you guys to do is to find one quote. You're not paraphrasing, you're not analyzing the quote, you're just finding a quote. That's all we are going to basically use these Padlets for the most part. Eventually, we might start adding a little bit of analysis to it, but for the start, we're just going to be focusing on quote finding. So what you guys are going to be looking for is kind of like what we talked about for the warm-up, is what is he like, but now you're going to find a quote to help back that up. But what I want to do is, because you guys are in groups of 3 or 4, I don't want you guys to find the same quote in your group. So you guys are going to have to talk about who's going to use what quote. So remember, you guys were underlining his feelings or what he was like in your annotation. So make sure that you're looking for anything that you've underlined. But again, I want to have at least 3 or 4 different quotes per group. So that way we're not all coming up with the same thing. So that way we have different options. Because maybe you found something that you thought was a good idea, but then somebody else finds something and is like, oh, that was actually an even better example. I like that. So that's why we're doing this. So we can find the best possible quotes. But anyways, so go ahead and do that. It's gonna say that I need to approve it, and I will approve it, but I just want to wait till everybody is done before they do that. So again, make sure if you don't log in that you are putting your name here in the subject area, so that way I can give you credit for doing it. And I'm just gonna leave that up there while you guys are working. So, all right. Go ahead again. You guys can talk to each other. Make sure you're not using the same quotes, and then type it out. Thank you.
Will we put our names on it?
Yeah, so either you log in, or if you didn't log in for the subject, you put your name.
And would we write for the subject, would we write how we like got from the quote and
No, just a quote. You can look at my example, and that's basically what you're doing.
Do we put why we did it?
Nope, just a quote. No.
So we're putting
Oh, yeah, I'll go.
For the number, do we put the page number or the paragraph?
Page number, yes. That's why I had you guys remember them, so that we could just reference that. So author's last name, like it shows in the example, author's last name, the page number, so Bizotti 3, and then the period goes after the parentheses because it shows that that's part of the quote sentence. So no period inside the quote. The only time you have punctuation in a quote, honestly, is if you have a question mark or an exclamation point. But if it's a period, just move it towards the end. And don't worry about that. If you mess up, it's not a big deal. We'll fix it. But we'll get used to Make sure you guys are talking to your group though, so that I don't want duplicate quotes from the same group. Just a reminder.
I'll shut it down. You know, with your
Okay. So the way you turn it, so do it due Monday. Did you turn it in Tuesday? No, I said it was due Monday. It was extra credit before school day, regular credit after. So yeah, so it will get updated though, if you turn it in, so we won't see it as zero paper. I'm gonna be doing a lot of updating the grades. So should be good. Yours. so far I got 8 done, so that's about a third of you. So let's make sure that we're adding our quotes. Let's say about 5 more minutes to finish up. Yeah, you log in.
Oh, it just took me three.
Yeah, so just don't worry about it, just gonna hit it. Oh, it's this one. Okay, so just instead of writing quote, just write for the subject. Okay, so yeah, so just get rid of the period. The period should go after your parentheses. And then it's not, so like when they like have a quotation mark like that, you actually just do like this. So go click to the first one, delete it, and then go to the punctuation. Or you can just do it this way, so it's a single one by itself. So if there's a quote inside a quote, you do the single quote, quotation marks out the double one. A little longer than I originally said, but let me go ahead and approve them now, or start approving them. Okay, make sure that you are putting just like my example, author's last name in the parentheses. And for my directions, if again, I hope you guys, I forgot to change it, but just I hope you guys didn't do a second quote. You just needed to do the one quote. We'll be doing the next quote probably on Friday, and now we're going to be doing it tomorrow. Good, just a reminder that the period, again, you don't put the period inside the quote, only after, so you don't need that extra period. Again, just a little minor thing, but just so you guys know how to do it. There we go. Well, again, if you're like multiple sentences, like in a quote, you keep the periods in like the middle sentences, but the last sentence of the quote, you get rid of that one. Yeah, so that's a good question. Thank you. All right, and now what I want you guys to do Again, everybody should be finished. And if you're not finished, please finish up, but once you're done typing out your quote, I want you to look at other people's quotes that are different from yours. Pick 2 of them and just like them. You don't have to, again, add any comments or anything. Just like 2 separate ones that are different from yours. And again, so when we go back to write, we can kind of like look and have an idea of like, okay, we seem to like these quotes. Not that you can't use the other ones, but it just kind of gives you an idea of like what people thought were like the better the quotes. Okay, still got some people who are missing. So again, if you haven't done it, please add it. I want to make sure everybody gets credit for having participated. Yes. Okay. Were you on the Padlet app or Safari?
I scanned it and looking for that.
Okay. And you can't go to the last thing you did. Okay. Here, let me throw up the QR code real quick one more time for you, okay? What? Read it again. Alright, so again, we're just gonna leave that for, and what I usually do is I will put the link when it's time to write the essays for those again, so that way you guys can look back at what you guys did. Usually I actually just take a screenshot of it though, because I can only have so many Padlets open, and we're gonna be creating more, so that way we have like one for this story, one for next week's story, so that way when it's time to get to write the essay, you have a lot of resources to use, so. All right. Okay. All right, so we have about a little less than 20 minutes left, 17 minutes or something like that. So what we're going to be doing for the rest of the period is we're just doing pages 8 and 9 today. We were going to finish the story, but I wanted to do the Padlet thing, so that obviously took some time. Yeah, so got more. So go ahead. only got 10 minutes left. I can't let people go first the last 15, so we only got like 12 till the bell rings. You're good. It's just stupid. That's not worried about it. So, thank you. Okay, we got about 9 minutes, or actually 8 minutes now left. So whatever you don't get finished is going to be homework. So just keep working on it. Hopefully you get through pages 1 through 9. They're all complete. So just keep working on it if you're not finished. We're going to finish that tomorrow. You're done, you're done.